All right, welcome. Today, we're going to jump into a journey, not to find some brand new, complicated health secret, but to get back to the basics, the simple things that can help our families feel their best in this crazy modern world. So let's get into it. So let's start with this question, because it really sets the stage for everything we're about to talk about. I mean, we are just hit with new diets and conflicting advice all the time, right? But what if the best way forward is actually to look back at what's always worked? We're going to cut through all that noise and get back to some real truths. And this is exactly why this stuff matters so much. The science is pretty clear. Almost half of all cancers can be prevented with lifestyle changes. Now, that is an incredibly hopeful number. And you know what? The easiest and most powerful first step we can take is just improving what we eat. So our journey is going to start in a place we all know well, the pantry. Think of this as a little detective mission. We're going to uncover some of the hidden ingredients that are lurking in foods we often think are totally fine, even healthy. Okay, so our first suspect? Emulsifiers. Now, these things have a job. Food companies add these artificial ingredients to give their products that creamy, smooth feel and, to make them last forever on the shelf. But as you're about to see, that convenience definitely comes with a price. And here's the kicker. Look at this list. So many of these things are marketed to us as health foods. I mean, protein bars, almond milk, gluten-free stuff. We buy these for our families thinking we're making a great choice. But these sneaky additives are hiding right there in plain sight. So how exactly do they mess things up? Well, think of your gut lining like a super tight security barrier. It's supposed to be strong, only letting the good stuff, like nutrients, get through. Emulsifiers act like a solvent, kind of dissolving that protective mucus layer. And this shows the problem perfectly. Once that barrier gets weak, nasty bacteria can sneak across, which triggers this chronic, low-level inflammation all over your body. And that's exactly the kind of environment where diseases can start to thrive. So the most important part is knowing how to spot them. Here's your cheat sheet. When you're looking at an ingredients list, keep an eye out for these names: polysorbate 80 and carboxymethylcellulose. Especially those two have been pretty clearly linked in studies to more inflammation. If you see them, that's your cue to just put it back on the shelf. Okay, I know reading labels can feel like a total chore. So let's talk about a much, much simpler tool. Something really intuitive that can help you and your family navigate the grocery store without all the stress. I just love this, the grandmother's rule. It's so simple, but so powerful. When you're staring at a label with a long list of chemical names you can't even pronounce, just ask yourself that question. Our bodies are built to understand and use real food, not stuff that was invented in a lab. Now, speaking of real food, let's talk real quick about nuts and grains. Sometimes you hear people worry about mold toxins called aflatoxins, but here's the thing you need to remember. It's not the food that's the problem, it's how it's stored. So just follow these 3 easy steps. Buy them fresh, stick them in the fridge or freezer, and try to use them up. It's really that simple. All right, let's switch gears and talk about the main fuel source for our bodies. We're going to look at how the energy we consume can either help us thrive or, unfortunately, can end up fueling the growth of unhealthy cells. Okay, so there's this scientific concept called the Warburg effect, but don't let the name intimidate you. The idea itself is actually really straightforward. Unhealthy cells, the ones that divide and grow really fast, are incredibly hungry, and their absolute favorite food is sugar or glucose. They just gobble it up to get the energy they need to multiply way faster than our healthy cells do. This is such a great way to picture it. If you want to basically starve out those problem cells, you've got to stop feeding them their favorite fast food. And we're not just talking about candy and soda here. We're also talking about the sugar that our bodies get from refined carbs, like white bread, white pasta, and all those sugary breakfast cereals. And this is how you actually do it. And look, this isn't about feeling deprived, it's just about making smart swaps. This table shows just how easy it can be. Instead of that sugary cereal that sends your blood sugar through the roof, try some oats with berries for a slow, steady release of energy. Every single one of these swaps helps fuel your family for health, not for disease. Okay, so food is a huge piece of the puzzle, but it's not the only piece. Real family wellness is about creating a daily rhythm, a flow of healthy habits that support our bodies from every single angle. Let's take a look at the other pillars holding up our family's health. It really is a whole picture. It includes getting good quality sleep, moving our bodies every single day, staying hydrated, and finding ways to manage stress. If you neglect any one of these, you can kind of undo all the great work you're doing with your food choices. And here's the why behind it. Not getting enough sleep just hammers your immune system's ability to find and destroy problem cells. Not moving enough slows down your metabolism. Being dehydrated means your body can't flush out toxins properly. And chronic stress, well, that brings us right back to our old friend, inflammation. See? It all works together. Oh, and here's a really quick but super important tip. Your immediate environment counts too. Simple things like using glass containers for your leftovers instead of plastic, especially when the food is hot, or switching to natural cleaning products. These things can lower your family's daily exposure to chemicals that can mess with hormones and just add to the body's overall stress level. You know, when you see it all laid out like this, it feels so much more doable, doesn't it? This is not about some massive, stressful overhaul of your life overnight. It's about weaving these small, positive habits into your week. A family walk, a fun little water bottle challenge, even just 5 minutes of quiet time. These little things build up to create a really powerful foundation for health. So, we have covered a lot of ground, from what's in our pantry to our daily routines. Let's pull all of this together now into a simple, straightforward blueprint that your family can start using right away. So here it is, your 5-step blueprint to get you started. Read those labels, trust the grandmother's rule, start super small by just swapping out one processed snack. Find ways to move together and make it fun, and really truly protect your family's time to rest and relax. This is your path. It's how you rediscover what it feels like to be vibrantly healthy. And that brings us to the last and maybe most important question. Don't try to do everything at once. Just think about this. What is the one small, totally manageable change that your family can make this week? Because that one small change, that's the first step. That's how you start building a healthier, stronger future.